Honest. Oh my goodness. I don't even know what to say. This is honestly just hilarious if you think about it. Yes, if you heard the news, Oscar Piastri put out a statement saying that he had not actually signed a contract to drive for Alpine in 2023 on his Twitter. Within the space of just over 24 hours, Alpine have not only lost Fernando Alonso to Aston Martin, but Oscar Piastri has rejected a seat to race for them next year. Of course, it does seem to be, well, the story goes like this. Laurent Rossi, the head CEO of Alpine, offered a one-year contract extension to Fernando Alonso, with the option of moving to Alpine's sports car team once 2024 comes around, meaning that Alonso would do one more year of F1 before leaving. However, it appears to be that Fernando Alonso decided to then choose Aston Martin in order to continue his F1 career into 2024 and beyond, since of course he was also very aware of the fact that the team have been very keen on moving Oscar Piastri into the race team. However, Piastri himself has now come out and completely bluffed Alpine by the fact that he and his manager Mark Webber have been in negotiations and talks with McLaren with a view to join their race team for next season. So as a result, Alpine are now a bigger circus than Scuderia Ferrari. They have been completely outwitted and outmaneuvered by the literal shitlord himself, Fernando Alonso, and frankly, it's just hilarious, really, to think about it, because, you know, now you could argue Fernando Alonso has shot himself in the foot, because, of course, for all we know, Piastri could have well have been moving to McLaren anyway, but this is really embarrassing for Alpine, because I think this is kind of confirmation that a lot of the drivers and team managers that have worked with them, such as Marcin, Budkowski, Daniel Ricciardo and Alan Prost, all departed from the team because I think they saw something wrong with the team, with the management, the lack of funding. You know, Alpine are trying to pursue F1 glory, but on a restricted budget. Yes, I know the cost cap is there, but there just doesn't seem to be enough investment in the facilities, enough, you know, getting the right staff members in to really push car developments further, because, you know, they finished 5th in the 2020 constructor standings with Ricciardo getting 2 podiums. They finished 5th once again last year, and whilst, yes indeed, they are sitting in 4th place, they're absolutely no closer to the top 3 teams than they were, really, frankly, 2019, 2020, last year. They're sort of still in the same place. Goodness me, this is an absolute laughing stock, of course. I know many people have said this Piastri situation is now having parallels to, of course, the Jenson Button contract saga of 2004 and 2005 when it was at BA Honda, which, of course, the first time around in 2004 when Jenson signed a contract with Williams, the F1 contract recognition board said, nope, you've got to stay with BA Honda. And then, of course, he did sign a contract with Williams the year later to join them in 2006. But, of course, when Williams announced that their BMW engine deal was ending, he was then forced to pay £16 million in order to rip up the contract. So, yeah. But as for Piastri, though, it does seem as if he's got some leverage, that young kid. You know, 3 junior titles in 3 years from, you know, the European Formula Renault 2-litre series, the Formula 3 Championship in 2020, and, of course, the Formula 2 Championship from last year. He's hot property. There's got to be some talent in this kid. He's only 21 years old, and, I mean, for me, he's a far more hot prospect than Esteban Ocon, and Alpine really have shot themselves in the foot. I mean, to be honest, it does seem as if a move for Piastri to go to McLaren is now looking very likely, in spite of McLaren's poor starts and fairly average season, where of course they're currently sitting in 5th place behind Alpine, but it does seem as if a lot of people's opinions of Alpine is pretty low right now. It's all, I mean, I can't help but laugh. I mean, apparently 1 minute after Piastri came out with a tweet saying he had not been contacted and he'd not been put down in agreement, because of course in that press release that Alpine pull out, there was no quote from Piastri, nor was there any quotes from Mark Webber about Oscar being happy and raring to go for 2023. It's really weird. It seems as if Alpine completely panicked and dropped the ball. Of course, for we know, I could be wrong on this Piastri situation. He could still will race for Alpine next year, but after a tweet like that, it doesn't look particularly great. And I have to say, Alpine might well be tempted to save their blushes into getting another driver for next year. And of course, I have got a short list here: Pierre Gasly, Valtteri Bottas, Daniel Ricciardo, Alex Albon, Nick De Vries, Theo Porcheri, Felipe Drugovich, Joe Granyu. Okay, I know it gets less likely, but apparently, you know, at a time when Piastri announced that tweet, Alonso then immediately, 1 minute after, put out a video of himself spending time at his own karting resort down in Spain, once again calling out Otmar Schaffner's bluff, who apparently he said that Alonso was on some boat somewhere in Greece, but turns out to be he just didn't have a clue where Alonso was. So yeah, Alpine, you really are on a hiding to nothing. And you know, I've seen well, I mean, in the past week, you know, Vettel announced his retirement, Nicholas Latifi topped an F1 practice session, George Russell got a pole position, Fernando Alonso joined Aston Martin, and of course Piastri denied joining Alpine's race team. It's all completely unravelled so quickly. I've never seen so much carnage into the start of a summer break. I'm going to look through all my tweets and see what else is there. I mean, of course, I can't remember what happened. I mean, oh yeah, Piastri's contract with Alpine expired on July the 31st. Now, of course, Piastri has been a reserve driver for Alpine for the past 2 years, and it's all really stupid. I mean, Alpine really have dropped the ball on Piastri as well, because, of course, I think, you know, it's pretty clear that I mean, what's it? Alpine wanted Alonso to carry on into 2023 as Ocon's teammate, but they also apparently wanted Piastri to sort of sit on the bench or try and get a seat at Williams. But I mean, Williams aren't that particularly keen on getting Oscar Piastri when they've got Logan Sargent and Nick De Vries on the sidelines. You know, apparently they're more keen on getting those two drivers because, of course, Williams, despite being a backmarker team, they do have their own interests at heart, and they're not going to want to try and babysit someone else's junior driver. So Fernando Alonso just basically waited for Oscar Piastri's contract deadline to expire, and then of course on the 1st of August, of course, I know a lot the way it was announced, it felt like April Fool's Day, but nope, it was the 1st of August, not the 1st of April. Fernando Alonso dropped the bombshell that he was indeed going to Aston Martin. I don't know why. I mean, I have to say I was so baffled when I heard the news. I thought, you're going from a team who's currently sitting 4th in the championship to go to a team who's 9th? That's just really odd. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Stroll family's management of that team. They've become a lot worse than what they are now, than what they were like under Ford when they had Vijay Mallya under the Force India name. So Alonso decided, you know, despite pretending to Otmar Schaffner that he was gonna, oh yeah, I'm keen on signing a contract extension, he just basically shot them in the face, really, shot them in the back of the head, I beg your pardon. Comical, really. They really, I mean, Alpine got completely pokered, snookered, I don't know the terminology, but they've basically lost a game of of high stakes poker with Fernando Alonso, as we all know, loves to screw people in the back. In the back, really, he likes to stab people in the back. What are you doing? Trying to outwit Alonso? Most people can't outwit him. He's always one step ahead of you. And Mark Webber, well, Mark Webber, I think himself doesn't particularly rate Alpine highly, hence why the hell he's been, you know, trying to pursue a seat at McLaren with, of course, Daniel Ricciardo underperforming once again this season. And, you know, I think I'm going to have to leave it for the next video I do, where, of course, I'll be talking about who will drive for Alpine in 2023 if Piastri does indeed leave and go to another team like McLaren. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time.